Hey everyone, welcome to Learn DAX channel. My name is Siddesh, and in the previous video we had taken a look at the all selected function in DAX. If you haven't already watched that video, I will leave the link in the description. You can go and check it out. In this particular demonstration, we will understand what the key filters function is and how it works. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm starting on a brand new page, and let's start with understanding how key filters works. So I will pull the product on the canvas, and I want the sales amount corresponding to each product. So fair enough. We have different products and we have different sales amount corresponding to those products. Now I also want a couple of more things. I want the region pulled in as a slicer, and I also want my retailer pulled in as a slicer. So I will convert these two into slicers. This goes as slicer, this again goes as a slicer. Now the business wants that they want separate columns corresponding to sales amount Midwest, sales amount Northeast, sales amount South, Southeast, etc. So let's start with the first, which is the sales amount Midwest. So usually what we would do in such a scenario is sales amount Midwest is equal to calculate sales amount. Sales region would be Midwest, right? That's how it should be. And once I drag it here, then I'm getting that particular value. If I also pull it as a card, then this is 166.74 million. Now if I choose Foot Locker, then the total amount that I'm getting in here is also the one that I'm getting in here. If I choose, instead of Foot Locker, I choose Kohl's or Sports Direct, then again what I'm seeing here, 59 million, is what I'm seeing here as 59 million. Now there's an interesting thing that's going to happen once I make a different selection, which is right now this is only obeying the filter context of this product and the one that is coming from the measure, which is the Midwest, that the region should be Midwest. Now what if I change this to Southeast and West? Now even though the this column clearly states that this is sales amount for Midwest, however on the slicer the selections have been made for regions belonging to Southeast and West. Now, what if I go a step further and also try to filter down the data by the retailer, Sports Direct? In this case, it can be misleading for the user that even though the selections have been made for Southeast and West, and the retailers are Kohl's and Sports Direct, I am still seeing some value for Midwest, even though they should show blank. Now, in such scenarios, we can use the keep filters function. Because even though the user is aware that this could be the case, that if I uncheck West and Southeast, then the selections that have been made in the retailer are corresponding to the sales amount Midwest. But again, if I make a selection and I choose South and I choose Northeast, for some new user who is not aware of the functionality of Power BI, it can be very misleading that even if I am choosing Northeast and South as the region, why am I still seeing the data for Midwest? It should show up blank. So in order to overcome that, we are going to use the function which is keep filters. So I'll quickly create a new measure. I will call it sales amount Midwest keep filters is equal to calculate sales amount. I was too quick. I should slow down. Keep filters, sales region would be Midwest. Now we will see the difference in what happens if we make any selection. What's happening here? Okay, yeah, now it looks good. Or what happened? Keep filters. Okay, let me rewrite this again. See what's the issue here. Sales amount Midwest. Keep filters. Keep filters. Sales region is equal to Midwest. Okay, the syntax was wrong. So if I pull it here, now I have not made any selection in the slicer, but there are certain selections that have been made on the retailer. Okay, so what if I choose Midwest? Okay, so far so good. I can see the values in here. I can see the values in here. But if I go ahead and select Northeast and Midwest, now there's the tricky part. Why am I seeing the values uh, in Midwest even though I've changed it to Northeast? Or in order to make it clearer, what if I choose Northeast? Then even though the user had made the selection for Northeast, I'm still seeing values for South, sales amount Midwest. Whereas this column, which is giving me sales amount Midwest keep filters as blank values. And that is the actual desired behavior, that if I am choosing a region which is not Midwest, I should not see any values in this particular column, or rather even this column, because if it says sales amount Midwest, then based on the selection made for Southeast region, it should not show me any values. It should just return me blank. And that's the reason why we would go for the KEEPFILTERS function. Now let's play around a bit more. Let's choose Midwest, West gear, and what if I choose Southeast as well? And South, and Northeast. And if I remove Midwest, yeah, see now comes the tricky part where I've chosen three different regions and three different retailers. And as is the desired behavior, I'm not seeing any values for sales amount Midwest keep filters, whereas I am seeing a sales amount, a value for sales amount Midwest. So in certain scenarios where we want the user to not see any value if the selection made on the visuals is not correct with what you're seeing as the title of the column, we can use the keep filters function. So yeah, that's what I wanted to demonstrate in this particular scenario. In fact, even this particular card, you see that sales amount Midwest is showing some value, even though on this particular slicer, there is no Midwest selection, but there is some retailer selection. If I pull the sales amount Midwest keep filters and change it to a card, it is going to show me a blank value. So that's what we want, that the user selects something in the region, and if it's not Midwest, this particular column should show me blank. And yeah, that's it. That brings us to the end of this video. If you liked watching this video, please share it with your friends. If you found something new, definitely leave your feedback in the comments. And until then, as I say at the end of every video, thanks for watching and happy learning.